Welcome to the Traditional Way podcast brought to you by the Martial Arts Internet Network. I'm your host, Brett Shumway. Continue to support the network by following us on all of our social media pages and on our website at www.mainternetwork.com. On this episode, I'll be covering the results from the European Youth Continental Championships that just finished up in Bielsko-Biała, Poland. At this event, there were 1,200 athletes representing 49 countries, all showing up for that coveted European title. They came out in the cadet, junior, and U21 aged categories. Let's take a dive in to see exactly what happened at this event. Starting it off in the minus 47 kilogram division, Li Lu Kume wins her second gold of the year and her first continental title, winning the final matchup 6-1. The world number 2, Adriana Boyadzieva, easily wins the final of the minus 54 kilogram division as she would secure her first continental title in a 7-0 victory. Hannah Sonegard brings her impressive 76% win rate into the final for the minus 61 kilogram division, where she would win her first European title by the 8-point spread and continue to find success within this division. And in the over 61 kilogram division, Davidula Duca improves on her 9-2 fight record as she wins the final matchup by a score of 9-2, securing her second gold medal in her third WKF event. The boys start off with reigning world champion Maxim Vyechkinov winning the final of the minus 52 kilogram division by a score of 3-0. The minus 57 kilogram division saw Carmine Apicella secure his first ever WKF gold medal as he won the final matchup by a score of 6-2. Another first-time gold medalist in the minus 63 kilogram division was Alexander Chiban, who would take home the honors winning the final matchup 2-0. Julian Raz would join the first-time gold medal club as he won the final match of the minus 70 kilogram division by the 8-point spread. And in the close final, Christos Agriakis would keep the theme going in the cadet male kumite as he secures his first ever WKF gold medal by Senshu to win the over 70 kilogram division. In the female kata division, it was the Shotokan styling of Juliana Villanova who would shock the division as the number 31st ranked athlete would defeat the world number 3 in the division as her unsu performance was enough to win the final by 1.6 points and earn her first WKF medal. A little more conventional as the world number 2 Vascos Mateus would secure his first European title as he defeated his opponent in the final by 2.1 points with his performance of Kishimono no Kusanku. The juniors start off with Agnes Nyman repeating as the European champion in the minus 48 kilogram division as she won the final 2-1. Morgane Scarfone steps up in age for the first time in the juniors and secures her first European title as she won a close matchup by Senshu to top the minus 53 kilogram division. The reigning world champion Monica Arzuman claims her first continental title as she cruises to a win in the minus 59 kilogram division as she won that final 7-0. In the minus 66 kilogram division, Elisa Cataneo would secure her first European title as she won by disqualification as her opponent maxed out on the available penalties allotted. And in the over 66 kilogram division, Astamaja Bath steps up in weight to take her first WKF gold medal as she wins the final matchup 4-1. The young men start out with Massis Torcado securing his first ever WKF gold medal, winning the minus 55 kilogram division final by Senshu. The world number 1, Emmanuel Califano, improves on his 62-17 record as he squeaks out a 2-1 victory in the minus 61 kilogram division. An exciting final in the minus 68 kilogram division as Ahmet Halisi wins his second ever WKF event as he pulled out a 7-6 victory to secure all of the firsts in one time. First medal, first gold, and first European title. In another close final, Benjamin Packwood brings his impressive 80% win rate into the division where he would win the minus 76 kilogram division by a score of 5-4. And in the over 76 kilogram division, the world number 6, Artem Alexienko, defeats the world number 1 by Senshu in the final as he improves on his silver from last year's championships. In the female division, the world number 1, Rita Marquet, collects her second European title, first one as a junior, as her performance of Ohan Dai in the final was enough to outscore her opponent by 1.1 points. In the male kata division, the world number 2, Thomas Klemps, would dominate this division as he would walk through this bracket and secure his first European title, winning the final 2.1 points with his performance of Paparin. Valeria Sergeyeva improves on her bronze medal from last year as she wins the minus 50 kilogram division final by a score of 1-0. In the minus 55 kilogram division, Ksenia Gronchanka repeats as the European champion as she wins the final by decision. Eva Luingo steps up into the minus 61 kilogram division, winning the final matchup 3-2 in her first attempt in the U21 age category, securing her first ever WKF medal. In the minus 68 kilogram division, the world number one, Hanna Rydell, would squeak out her first European title by Senshu to top the division. Asia Pergolesi would secure her second career continental title as she wins the over 68 kilogram final by a score of 3-1. The men would start out with Adam Hamel making a statement in the minus 60 kilogram division as he wins his first WKF gold medal, winning the final 9-1. Fresh off his Premier League bronze medal in France, Georgios Baliotis wins his first European title as he takes the final of the minus 67 kilogram division 4-1. The world number one ranked Hirori Pitzel repeats as the European champion as he pulls out a close fight with a 6-5 victory in the final of the minus 75 kilogram division. Aston Patrick would secure his first WKF medal as he tops the minus 84 kilogram division, winning the final matchup 5-2 en route to his first European title. And in the over 84 kilogram division, the world number one, Matteo Avanzini, would win his second European title as he won the final matchup 3-0. In a stacked female kata division, it would be the rising star in the veterans division, Paola Lozano, who would win and secure her fifth career continental title with her performance of Chatnara Kusanku that would outscore her opponent 42.3 to 40.6. The male kata division would see the reigning U21 world champion Anthony View secure his first European title as his performance of Chibana no Kusanku was enough to outscore his opponent by 0.3 points in what was the closest kata final at this championships. Another thing that occurred in between episodes was the tryouts for the U.S. national team. These athletes will represent the U.S. at the Pan American Continental Championships later this year. Let's start off in the kata divisions where there was no surprises here, as Ariel Torres and Gakuji Tozaki will represent the men, and Sakura Kokomai and Jessica Kwan will represent the women. Looking at the male kumite divisions, we'll start with Janko Dorta and Frank Ruiz in the minus 60 kilogram division. The minus 67 kilogram division will see Evangelos Octe and Cesar Cruz. Thomas Scott and Christopher Garrido will represent the minus 75 kilogram division. In the minus 84 kilogram division, we'll see Brian and Jan Buka. And in the over 84 kilogram division, Edward Sadrian and Brian Ear will have the honors. In the women's, you start in the minus 50 kilogram division where you'll see Sofia Maldonado and Gia Maza. Trinity Allen and Viana Palomino will represent the minus 55 kilogram division. The minus 61 kilogram division will be represented by Jenna Brown and Sabrina Romick. Skylar Lingle and Luisa Villafranca will represent the minus 68 kilogram division. And lastly, the over 68 kilogram division will be represented by Cirrus Lingle. And joining us now on the show, the number 2 seed in that division, Amber Rutherford. Amber, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So I know this is not the first time that you've been to the team trials. However, it is the first time you've made the team, especially to compete for Pan Ams. Was there any adjustments that you made in preparation coming into this year?
Yeah, I made a few adjustments, especially from the last time I had team trials. This is my second year. However, last year was a little rocky. The kind of adjustments I made were kind of last minute. I usually prepare months ahead, but last minute before I got on the plane, I was sick. I had like a virus, so we just had to readjust my whole entire game plan into like be patient, one point at a time. If you see it go, don't overexert your energy because especially the altitude there, it was horrible, sucks. Um, and as soon as we got there, we made sure we stayed hydrated and then did as much as little movement as possible a day. Where I practiced like twice a day, but then other than that, we just rest until it was just time for me to fight.
Okay, and speaking of that, so we had the round robin format for the team trials, and you did start off slow. You lost your first match, but you
I
did
did.
find your form in your next match. So was there any adjustments in the coaching, or was it just you knowing that you were close to elimination that made you step it up in that next fight?
It was a just more of an adjustment for me. However, my coach really was like, "You could have won the first match if I just listened to him." Um, which is how every African coach usually like squabble at tournaments. Like, you just listen to me, and I'm like, yes, I know, I'm sorry. I think I wasn't focused on the first match. I was more focused on my second match, which got me blinded for the first match. Also, the game plan that we have, I'm more of a defensive fighter. So my thing is I wanted to try offense, but I was trying offense at the wrong time because when you try offense, you have to exert energy. And since I wasn't feeling well and I was coughing backstage, coughing up mucus, it was horrible. And then me trying to get the first point, because my game plan is let me get the first point and then I use my defense. It kind of just set everything back when I kept trying to go offense, and the person was just as good as defense as me. Usually after that fight was over, I had a rematch with that person because it was double elimination, and that's when I started to my coach. And then afterwards, I had to go into the finals to fight Lingo, who's the number one
Yeah.
seed.
So so with that though, you are still, let's be honest, you're fairly new to the USA and KF compared to some of the other
Yes.
fighters in there. Are we going to see you at any other USA and KF events this year? I know there's nationals, there's a US Open. Are you planning to attend on attending any of those?
That's in the talks. I want to attend the US Open. However, I already, before trials even happened, I already, let's say, booked my flight for the North American Open, which is a whole different league, and it's a week ahead of the US Open. So being in Vegas twice.
Will be kind of tricky. I guess I'll see because for US Open, I believe I only compete for one day.
Right.
I have to talk to my coaches, talk to those who are running US Open just to see if they're having finals for adults. Sometimes we have finals, we have to stay later just to see how many days will I have to technically be there, including weigh-ins and such. So right now, my game plan is, of course, after I get cleared from my doctor for this concussion, just to see the schedule of events to see if I could just fly there, fly back, or if I just have to stay there for like 2 weeks, which would be crazy. But I do know some people who are doing that,
Okay.
which is crazy. And I'll definitely be starting some Series A's also. So
Right, good. That was my next
we'll see
question.
the schedule.
And
Uh,
so and I know I wasn't gonna bring it up, but you mentioned it, you touched on it. So let's talk about it. You did take some shots at team trials.
mhm.
And I know because I personally, you and I were talking, and we got together with the
Yeah.
great Mr. Ross Levine to help you out in with that. Is there, other than waiting on clearance for the doctor, is that what you're waiting on now to see, or how are you feeling after getting back from the event?
Well, after I got back from the event, I knew it was a concussion. I didn't know. I just know it wasn't as worse as my first one,
Okay.
which was ironically in Denver, which is crazy. um, so my was excruciating. This one was kind of like a light headache. Um, I was able to open my eyes in light. As you can see, I have lights on. My eyes aren't hurting. I believe it's only at an extent. So I went to work the next day. I got back and I'm staring at a computer screen all day because I work in a school with kids and I'm putting in grades and I'm doing this and doing that. I started to get dizzy, had started to get hurting. So I'm like, okay, I can't be here all day. Um, of course, my bosses already knew I had a concussion, so they kind of sent me home for the remainder of the week. I will be back tomorrow just to see if it got better. But on Thursday, Friday morning, I left for like a road trip to West Virginia where I just slept the whole ride there. And my head was hurting because I decided to judge. And watching people do two katas at once, I was just like, oh, this hurts. It hurt really badly. So I'm gonna rest for the end of the day, and then I'll say tomorrow since I think it's half a day at work. I'll see the head, how my head feels, and if it still hurts, then I'll probably just go for like a follow up appointment, or I just probably have to just stay off all electronics for like the next 48 hours. So
Okay.
we'll see.
All right. And also, so I know, and I know that, especially coming off from making the team, everyone's gonna ask, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" I know you have a super busy schedule all the time, right? So I know
Yeah.
you have your commitment to your team on the open circuit, and you have your commitment to the traditional circuits with the AAU, and now this is just another commitment. Is the preparation for Pan Am's going to hinder anything that where we normally will see you? Do you think there's going to be an adjustment to schedules this year that maybe people aren't expecting to see from you, or that it's going to change what you had originally planned?
Um, hmm. Right now, I don't think so. My goal is I'm gonna put Pan Am's on top of the list, of course. It's a tournament that I definitely want to try, especially if I'm traveling for NASCA. I have this thing where if I'm traveling for NASCA, I usually compete for like 1 or 2 days. My goal is if I get there early, like NASCA is not really like my biggest priority. It's usually if I'm already registered. There are traditional schools around there, so I will be training even when I'm traveling, just to get those extra coaching tips from other athletes and other U.S. coaches who will be around the area. So I think Pan Am's in May, and I will be in Miami before I go to Pan Am, so I'll definitely be at a karate school because Pan Am's is in May in Miami on my birthday, which is crazy. And then I'll be training at the karate schools. Probably I go to Sensei Ochoa school or whoever else in Miami on that time just to train for some details for Pan Am's, and then forward or when I go to Quebec. I think those are the only two tournaments I'm going to. Other than that, I'll just be back in Jersey, just training nonstop.
Sounds good. Hey, I also, with all of that, I do want to thank you for joining us on the show, and I hope all the best for you and your endeavors this year in the over 68 kilogram division. And we'll be watching. Thanks, Amber. With that, I want to thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of The Traditional Way. Join me on the next episode where I'll bring you the results from the Series A event from Larnaca. Until then, continue to support the Martial Arts Inter Network and all of our programming. Until next time, guys.